Discussion of cardiology multiple choice questions. Which of the following is an innocent murmur? 1. Gibson's murmur. 2. Rogers murmur. 3. Still's murmur. 4. Dock's murmur. Correct answer 3. Still's murmur. Still's murmur was described by George Frederick Still in 1909. This is a low-pitched murmur heard in the lower left sternal area. It is best heard with the bell of the stethoscope. Still's murmur is a mid-systolic murmur, loudest in supine position and diminishes in intensity on sitting and standing as venous return decreases. Gibson's murmur is a train tunnel murmur or machinery murmur of patent ductus arteriosus. Rogers murmur or bruit de Roger is heard in small ventricular septal defect. Dock's murmur is due to stenosis of left anterior descending coronary artery. Which of the following is not a feature of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome or POTS? 1. Heart rate increase 30 beats or more per minute from supine to standing. 2. Symptoms get worse with lying down and better on standing. 3. Palpitation and lightheadedness. 4. Dependent acrocyanosis. Correct answer 2. Symptoms get worse with lying down and better on standing. In POTS, symptoms get worse with standing and better on lying down. Dependent acrocyanosis is a striking physical finding which occurs in 40 to 50% of patients. A dark red-blue discoloration of legs which are cold to touch can be seen. Bradycardia in dash phase of Valsalva maneuver can be easily appreciated by feeling the pulse. 1. Phase 1, 2. Phase 2, 3. Phase 3, 4. Phase 4. Correct answer 4. Phase 4. Venous return decreases during the strain phase and reduces blood pressure, which triggers baroreceptor mediated increase in heart rate. After cessation of straining, there is abrupt reversal resulting in overshoot of arterial pressure, which is known as Valsalva overshoot. This leads to baroreceptor mediated bradycardia. Finally, the hemodynamic changes return to basal levels. While feeling the pulse during a Valsalva maneuver, it is easy to appreciate the bradycardia during phase 4. An indexed aortic prosthetic valve orifice area dash corresponds to severe stenosis in patient prosthesis mismatch and needs reoperation. 1. Less than or equal to 0.6 square centimeter per square meter. 2. Less than or equal to 0.7 square centimeter per square meter. 3. Less than or equal to 0.8 square centimeter per square meter. 4. Less than or equal to 0.9 square centimeter per square meter. Correct answer 1. Less than or equal to 0.6 square centimeter per square meter. Indexed orifice area of an aortic prosthetic valve should be more than 0.85 square centimeter per meter squared to avoid significant gradient at rest and exercise. Patient prosthesis mismatch is an important cause of increased transvalvular gradient detected by Doppler echocardiography. Effective orifice area of an aortic prosthetic valve may be too small in relation to patient's body surface area and can result in abnormally high gradients. Wrong statement in relation to left ventricular remodeling. 1. Central pathophysiological mechanism in advancing heart failure. 2. Reversal of remodeling with treatment is an important goal in the management of heart failure. 3. As the ventricular shape becomes spherical, performance improves. 4. Remodeling is initially beneficial as the force of contraction increases. Correct answer 3. As the ventricular shape becomes spherical, performance improves. Increase in left ventricular volume is initially beneficial as the force of contraction increases according to Starling's law. Volume overload hypertrophy occurs in the non-infarcted segments. But as the left ventricle assumes a spherical shape later, it leads to decline in performance. Left ventricular cavity was more spherical in those with poorer survival in a study. Coarctation of aorta can be best visualized in dash view on echocardiography. 1. Parasternal long axis view. 2. Parasternal short axis view. 3. Apical 4-chamber view. 4. Suprasternal view. Correct answer 4. Suprasternal view. Suprasternal view is the standard view for visualizing arch of aorta and proximal part of descending aorta, and hence the view for visualization of coarctation of aorta. Suprasternal view visualizing arch of aorta and proximal descending aorta. No coarctation is seen in this case. Three-dimensional orientation of the echo beam is not exact in the diagram. Effects of underwater or aquatic treadmill exercise does not include 1. Useful for senior citizens to avoid the risk of falls and musculoskeletal stress. 2. Useful for obese individuals and those with issues of mobility. 3. Increases in heart rate, BP and rate pressure product are lower with underwater treadmill. 4. There is redistribution of blood volume from thoracic cavity to the lower limbs. Correct answer 4. There is redistribution of blood volume from thoracic cavity to the lower limbs. Cardiovascular changes occurring during immersions have to be considered. There is a redistribution of blood volume from lower limbs to the thoracic cavity. Increases in blood pressure, heart rate and rate pressure product are lower with underwater treadmill walking as compared to walking on a land treadmill. Wrong statement about H2FPEF score for differentiation of heart failure with preserved ejection fraction from non-cardiac causes of dyspnea. 1. Has clinical and echocardiographic parameters. 2. Highest number of points is for age. 3. Total score ranges from 0 to 9. 4. Odds of HFPEF doubled for each 1 unit increase in H2FPEF score. Correct answer 3. Highest number of points is for age. F. Atrial fibrillation, paroxysmal or persistent, 3 points is the highest score. E. Elder, age above 60 years, has only 1 point. Other parameters are as follows. H2, heavy, body mass index more than 30 kg per meter squared, 2 points. Hypertensive, more than or equal to 2 antihypertensive medications, 1 point. P. Pulmonary hypertension, pulmonary artery systolic pressure estimated by Doppler echocardiography more than 35 millimeters of mercury, 1 point. F. Filling pressure, Doppler echocardiographic E by E prime more than 9, 1 point. The authors suggested that low H2FPEF scores of 0 or 1 can be used to effectively rule out the disease, while scores of 6 to 9 can be used to make a diagnosis of HFPEF with good confidence. Intermediate scores of 2 to 5 would call for additional testing.